Hey, welcome to my channel. I didn't really discuss about it that Friday, and I was like holding off on Saturday because I wanted to see if things fully ironed out, and sort of looks like it is. On paper, it looks like the Knicks might have done better than the Timberwolves, but realistically speaking, it's hard to say because time will tell. But it looks like the Knicks are definitely going all in for this season, 2024-2025, basically, because let's be honest, they surrendered like 4 draft picks for Mikal Bridges to the Nets. I think that was an overpayment. And at that time, we were like thinking, okay, looks like Rose is trying to reunite the Villanova squad that won their championship. Um, is this a case where like we're all wondering like, okay, maybe these four together basically they gelled well. Maybe they might gel well with the Knicks, and maybe get the Knicks closer to the conference finals. Will they get to the finals? Highly doubtful. But in any case, at that time. But then, lo and behold, Rose. It seems like Rose is getting a lot of former CAA clients into the Knicks, and like Rose trading for Cat Williams. I mean, not Cat Williams. Cat himself, Karl Anthony Towns. Um, it The question is did they trade too much? I mean, you're surrendering Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and Detroit's first round protected draft pick. Now the thing is on paper between Randle and Cat, yeah, Cat is definitely the star over Randle, but let's be realistic about this. I mean, you're losing out on a few things when you're bringing in Cat. Cat's not a defender. He's not a defender. I mean, he'll try to be, but he's not a defender. Will he be the one that will be able to like hold off Embiid? Highly doubtful. I think and the fact is, I don't want to say the Knicks were desperate, but they did have to scramble a little bit because after Mitch Robinson's injury, he's going to be out for at least quite a number of games in the first half. That they need a center, and like Sims is not your guy. Um, Achiuwa is a little up there in age, but maybe he's your backup. But that's as far as it goes. I mean, honestly, they needed someone, and I can understand why they went for Cat because they've been trying to get Cat for quite a while. It's as we see, but Cat can be somewhat like your Jokic a little bit. They're trying to create that aspect of like the Jokic aspect as well as the Porzingis, where you have a versatile center. But the one drawback though is Cat does not rebound. And that's what I think we're losing out with Randall. Because the thing is, the one thing that Randall was definitely good at was bullying his way a little bit into the boards, basically, where he had that physical prowess to push, forwards, whatever it may be, towards the basket. I wish he did that more. Because, like, let's be honest, when Julius Randall took a shot, an outside shot, a jumper, and all that stuff, or a three-pointer, you're like, no! And you're like freaking out. But, and whenever he missed, and like whenever he was offensively not there. Basically, if he had a bad offensive game, his defense also, pretty much went down the tubes at that point because honestly, he became a temperamental player. If things weren't going his way, rather than working on defense, he would just be whatever and just like sluggishly, drag down the Knicks. But I think it would have been interesting to see how this would have worked out with the current Knicks team or the Knicks team with Mikal Bridges, how Randall would have, fit into that group dynamic because let's be honest, once they got OG, the Knicks went on that 12-2 run basically, and it was interesting to see like could they get even further because after when Randall got injured, I mean it showed that OG was part of that defensive regime. Like once OG went down, you saw what happened in Indianapolis, and Brunson couldn't do it himself. And I'll say it straight up again, and until Brunson proves me otherwise. He's not your tier 1 superstar. He's maybe your tier 1A superstar, but not your tier 1 superstar. That like an Anthony Edwards type of person. I really wished, honestly, that the Knicks had traded for or gotten somehow Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell with Brunson. I think that would have been an ultimate dual backcourt that could have changed things dramatically. But that's neither here nor there. Now the thing is like with Cat Williams. Again, you do lose out on that rebounding abilities because, like, once Mitch Robinson comes back, then yeah, you add a little bit of defensive prowess. But the problem is like, it's going to be high-scoring games again with the especially with their opponents. The opponents are definitely going to be scoring well over 80 points for sure because OG could only do so much. Brunson, a decent defender, but not a great defender. Josh Hart, yes, he's probably a better defender at that point, but honestly, outside of that, that's pretty much it. McBride, the Deuce man himself, Deuce McBride maybe could help out on long term. I mean, it's definitely going to elevate his role now at this point. But it's showing basically the aspect of when they surrendered Emmanuel quickly, and then surrendering now Dante DiVincenzo and that draft pick from Detroit. And I have a feeling Detroit's draft pick could have been very useful somewhere else. Basically, now the Knicks have maybe a handful of second round draft picks. I wish they traded a lot of their second round draft picks because let's be honest, your second round draft picks can get you some stars here and there. But in any case, this is coming back to the fact that now the Knicks now no longer have draft capital. They have to go all in at this point. And the thing is, they are a little bit over the salary cap, so now they got to be a little bit more creative. Sad part is this is pretty much it. That's it. There's nothing else that can happen unless you trade McBride. You package McBride and Hart for someone else. This is pretty much it. So it's all in or bust basically at this point. Because honestly, Brunson, Cat, as well as OG and McBride all have to elevate their games considerably now. I hate to say this, but Brunson's got to get to that tier 1 level. If he doesn't get to that tier 1 level, like Ant-Man is, it's not going to work out. McBride has to elevate himself now to the pure six man that he should be. Similarly, OG and McBride themselves, OG Anunoby and McBride, they have to get to themselves into that tier 2 level, basically, like an all NBA third team or something like that. Because outside of that, this might not be helpful for the Knicks down the line. I mean, honestly, this might set them back 4 years from now. This probably will set them back based on what they've done now, but only time will tell. Unless they could find a dramatic player that they can get within the salary cap, it's going to be a little concerning, put it that way. Now, granted, yeah, I'm probably one of the few people that actually was trashing on Randall, but I was trashing on Randall to the point of basically, if he doesn't take those outside shots, those jumpers, those 3-pointers, and just bullies his way into the court, into the boards, I think he would have been a dominant figure. Let's be honest. If he goes in and drives in like that, he's a dominant figure because no one defensively is going to stop him at this point. I mean, if you had between him and Jokic, if he drives himself drives himself backwards, Jokic, yes, being a huge man, but the thing is, Randall could have still bullied himself backwards, like almost like a Shaq type of thing, gotten himself onto the boards. Jokic would not have been able to stop him. Actually, I think Randall could have been unstoppable from that perspective. But it's going to be interesting to see now. This definitely spreads the floor out even more that almost no one's going to be in the center court, practically in the paint. Cat has to be there, but the problem is he's like a Jokic. He's like an Embiid. The one thing is Embiid has that ability to work in the paint. The Greek Freak, I think they're trying to bring that versatility. That's why they're bringing Cat, because the fact that the Greek Freak and Embiid shows what with the versatile center works out. But the problem is let's be honest, at least Milwaukee had some rebounders. The Knicks don't have any rebounders. So yeah, this probably puts the Knicks back up to the 3 spot. As far as the third favorite team to come out of the East, because let's be honest, it's going to be the Boston Celtics, number 1. And then you're going to have basically Philadelphia. It's going to be between one of those two teams because Paul George going to Philadelphia changed Philadelphia dramatically to the point where again, let's be honest, Embiid 50% almost beat the Knicks. If not for the fact of those injuries, if he was healthy, they probably get to the conference finals, quite honestly, against the Boston Celtics. So Philadelphia would have beaten out and whooped Indiana, and I think yes, it definitely showed a deficiency. Showed some holes with the Knicks where once Julius was out, once OG was out, it showed that the Knicks had no other scorer, and without that scorer, that second scorer, and they could just basically capitalize on Brunson and double team or whatever it may be. Brunson could only do so much. Now, yes, everyone's gonna still say is like, no, Brunson is your superstar. I'm not saying he's not a superstar, but he's not the tier one superstar. I'm still saying he's still a tier 1A. A superstar gets you past those levels. And let's be honest, he hasn't gotten the Knicks past those levels. Yes, he's got past the Philadelphia 76ers, but again, Embiid was 50% and it barely beat him. If he was that superstar, he should have gone over Indiana. Because let's be honest, talent-wise, between the Knicks and Indiana, the Knicks had better talent. Brunson should have taken him over the hump and gone. It should have been Boston versus the Knicks. Simple as that, but it didn't happen. But in any case, this is going to be an interesting season for the Knicks. It's a make or break. Put it that way. It's definitely a make or break season for them because if they don't get to the conference finals, this trade might come back to haunt them. Let's be honest. This trade and the McBride trade might come back to haunt them because that draft capital could have been used for something else. Quite honestly, I mean, you could have drafted other players, but I think you could have gotten other better players at that point. But in any case, I'll leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts. I've gone a little bit over my time because like I try to keep this to 5 to 10 minutes, but I've definitely gone over. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I would love to discuss this. What do you think? Does this put the Knicks in the possibility of getting to the conference or finals or even the finals for that matter? Do they win the finals? I highly doubt it. But with that, I'll leave it at that. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you please, I ask also if you can subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Now, for those that hit the like button, it shows if you do like it or don't like it. It's up to you. You're welcome to do that, but it does let me know like what content I should focus on. Yeah, granted, if you've seen my other videos in the past, I'm one of those guys that basically doesn't really have a script or edit. I just go off the cuff and just go from there at that point. Maybe I should start editing, but I'm not going to do that because my tagline is, as I always leave, is unfiltered, unedited, and of course, always unrehearsed. Until next time.